Come on, let's do it. I feel like I'm kind of cheating you guys this episode. This is, it's Saturday, and I got to get this thing shot, edited, and up by the morning. The whole week got away from me. I think last week we were talking about I was fixing my front porch. I might have showed you guys a picture of that. Well, I finally got it primed up. And today, November, what is it, the 7th or the 8th? Early November, moving into the second week of November, it hit 62 degrees today. This is what we call around here Indian summer, which is these warm, beautiful spring, almost summer-like days after the first hard frost has come. Indian summer. So what a beautiful Saturday. And I had an 11 o'clock appointment in Kingston, after which I did a little shopping, a couple of errands, and then on the way home, I passed by this big, beautiful house owned by some friends of mine, but they actually live in Manhattan, and they're rarely at this house. And I saw a car in the driveway, pulled in, and sure enough, they were up. So I spent a good while there catching up with them. So the week and the day got away from me. When I left this morning, I had a whole recipe in mind I was going to come home and do for lunch. That's not going to happen. But I did get a nice little surprise on my running around shopping trip errands. Let's take a look at what I got, and we'll fire that up instead. Come on, let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
Another repeat. We've done it before, but I think it was probably season 1. Gonna make some baked clams. I got a buddy stopping by soon for some vino bianco. A nice little, in fact, maybe I won't even make all these. I'll save some and make some clam sauce tomorrow. We've done both of those as episodes. Don't mind the paint. But I'll make a few baked clams. Maybe I'll just make a half dozen, or let's see, there's 2 of us. Maybe I'll make 10 of them. I think I got a dozen and a half. That would leave me a nice little pot of one-person linguine with clams tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll make a small tray of baked clams. I've got here, I always keep my leftover bread. This is all home-baked bread, home-baked baguette, some sourdough. So I'll make the breadcrumbs. You don't need to sit here and watch my Cuisinart spin. Let me whiz these up into breadcrumbs, and then I'll show you how I season them, which again, we've done that before plenty of times, but we'll do it now for this episode. So I'll get these whizzed up, and then we'll make them into some nice seasoned breadcrumbs. Oh, also, before I turn the camera off, you've seen this in past episodes, but these clams have been in here at least an hour, maybe a couple hours since I got home and was painting with cornmeal and some kosher salt. It lets them siphon, get some of the sand out of them. So, ice cold water, salt, cornmeal. Alright, I'm going to do the breadcrumbs. Okay, here we go. Quick whiz in the Cuisinart. I put them through this strainer. And these big chunks are just going to go in the compost. Those are what didn't get pulverized. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on this tray. And I'm just going to put them under the broiler in the Cuisinart for a few minutes. Get them nice and toasty. Gives them a nice flavor. So I'll get that done while we get out our ingredients. Okay, salt. Kosher salt. Black pepper. Little, I got a couple of hard cheeses here. I think that's Parmigiano Reggiano. Perfect. And I got a little Grana Padano, a little Locatelli, or Pecorino Romano. So we'll mix up a few nice little cheese blend. I've got my Summer 25 dried oregano. Key in this, I'm going to put just a pinch of this season's dried basil. And you need some pepperoncini, and I have my dried little birds. Where are they? And how could I forget? Prezzemolo, fresh parsley, key ingredient. Possibly one of the most important. Okay, breadcrumbs, nice and toasted up. Get them back in the bowl. Oh, they smell so nice. You gotta toast them. Toasty breadcrumbs. Yeah, Changes the flavor completely. Salt. They're still warm, but they're not hot, so they won't melt the salt. Black pepper. Oregano is key. Healthy dose of oregano. After all, these clams, which was my dad's favorite, and he referred to as clams oreganata. The oregano is crucial. Especially this homegrown, air-dried. It's just magnificent. Little touch of basil, not too much. The oregano is the flavor you want. But a little bit of basil adds a nice sweetness to the spice mix. Here we go. That's plenty. Cheese. Let's start with the Parmigiano Reggiano. Lean mostly heavy on that, with a little touch of, it smells like pecorino. And I think this is the Locatelli. Going back to the Reggiano. That's the flavor I really like in the breadcrumbs. Parmigiano Reggiano. Looks like I need a new piece. But that ought to get us through our clams. Now let me get this cleaver down here and let's do our pepperoncini. That is not a Thai bird. There's a Thai. That's what I was looking for. That chili. The other ones are deceptive. They're red. I suppose the best thing to do is taste it. Yeah, that's what I want. Because you want that little bit of heat. The shishitos are deceptive. I had some small ones. They look like that, but they're not hot. Let me check this out. Yeah, zero heat. We want a little bit of zing from the hot pepperoncini. And these are delicious. So much better when you grow them, air dry them, and then chop them to order than, some jar of crushed red pepper flakes that's 6 months old before you even buy it in the store. Okay, there's our breadcrumbs, parsley, and actually, how many clams am I doing? I don't know that I need all these because I'm going to oil them up with the olive oil. So I like to keep some aside dry to use for other things. Maybe a chicken cutlet or something. That should be enough right there. And then if we need more, we'll add oil to more. So, chop some parsley here. And now, let me get my extra virgin olive oil. And actually, I think I mentioned on another baked clam show, I think we've done this probably more than once on this show. But again, we get new viewers from time to time. And if you are a new viewer and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It helps out a lot. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. But anyway, I think I have mentioned on another episode that you don't have to use extra virgin in these. In fact, sometimes the light olive oil is nice because you really taste the clam and the breadcrumbs. Unfortunately, I only have the extra virgin right now. Alright, so there's our wet breadcrumbs. I am now going to shuck the clams, and I've done that on a number of episodes. So I got this guest arriving soon, and it's somebody that's not going to want to go on camera. Oh, those are perfect. A little more oregano. It is oreganata after all. And I might do a little more Parmigiano. But anyway, this person won't go on camera, so I want to try to taste one of these for you guys before he gets here. Perfecto. I'm going to shuck some clams and then we'll stuff them up. Alright, I'm going to do this over the sink, but I'll just show you. We've done it before. This is my trusty clam knife I've had for 40 or more years. I don't remember if this was my dad's or my uncle's, but it's been with me forever. I love it. So here's the clam. See how this part goes in like that, rounded? That's where the muscle is. You want to go in like that. And then, yeah, I can probably do one here. Watch. You may want to use a towel or a glove just to be safe. I've done millions of these over the years. Then once you do that, you get under with the round part of this blade. That's why this clam knife is great. You open it up and then you scrape under the clam to loosen it up. All right, it's a bit of a mess right here. I'm going to do them over the sink. All right, got them shucked up. I did, what'd I do here? 2, 4, 6, 8. So we can have 3 each, and I'll try one now. Or he can have the extra. So, get that in frame. Breadcrumbs on top. And by the way, these could be a touch wetter, but what I'll do is I'll just drizzle. I'd like to get one tasted before guest rolls into the driveway. And you don't want to overdo the breadcrumbs. You definitely want to taste the clam. It's a delicate dance of how much bread to clam. I'm just eyeballing it because, again, I've done it 100 billion times in my life. Plenty of breadcrumbs left over with the oil in them. And now, just going to throw these in to bake. 5 minutes or so, 7, 8 minutes, and then we'll just quickly broil the top. Oh, I did want to... Well, actually, they look pretty good. They're wet enough. I was going to put a little more oil on top. Oh, you know what I didn't do, though? I'm rushing because this whole show got away from me. But what I can do is I can remedy it right now. I did save the juice from shucking the clams because tomorrow I'll make clam sauce and this juice is very valuable. But usually I add a little of the clam juice to the breadcrumbs. So let me just do this on each clam. It adds a nice flavor. And sometimes I add a little lemon juice to the breadcrumbs too. But that's less key. I will just drizzle them with lemon when they come out. So a little clam juice on each one. That also solves the, I thought the breadcrumbs were a little dry business, right? Because they will dry up even more as they bake. All right, little clam juice, very key. Okay, these have been in a few at 350. I can see they're already bubbling a little. So what I'm going to do now is move them up to the broil rack. I'm up one. I'm going to hit broil. And just give them that little bit of color on top. Okay, we don't want to burn them. Just want to color them on top a little. Clams Oreganata, or more colloquial, baked clams. All right, let me try one. We'll drop a lemon. Shell is hot. Oh man. Oh man. Like I said, this might be our third episode doing this same recipe. I don't mind, do you? There is so much memory and nostalgia wrapped up in this particular recipe for me. Childhood, Christmas, dinners out with the family, various Italian restaurants around Brooklyn and Long Island. So many memories. This was my dad's all-time favorite. Also linguine with clams, which I'll likely do tomorrow. So I'm going to have one more. I've got 3 each for myself and my guest. And by the way, he may bring snacks. We'll see how it goes. If I have to shuck a few more, we got the breadcrumbs. Maybe I'll make them all tonight. You never know. But a little clam sauce tomorrow would be nice too, Sunday. Buon appetito. And try to make your homemade breadcrumbs and season them up like that. There's nothing wrong with 4C or Progresso or any of those, except most of them have corn syrup in them. Why? I can't fathom. Homemade breadcrumbs. Baked clams, oreganata. Fabulous. Well, odd show. I had to change horses midstream. It was kind of rushed. It was kind of haphazard. But at least it'll be up on Sunday. I'll see you all for the next episode.
Come on, let's do it.
And next episode, I'll try to get the pain off my hands. All right, Sunday morning. Here I am, wrapped up in a blanket on the couch, finishing the edits. And I had to come on and just say something. I'd be remiss if I didn't address this. Because, to repeat, the episode was rushed. You know, paint all over my hands from painting the porch, you name it. So I missed a key thing making those breadcrumbs. I know my sisters probably already, if they're watching the show, already said it out loud to themselves and their families. But I was just in a massive rush. Had this guy coming over. By the way, the baked clams were phenomenal. They were fantastic. If my sisters are watching, I still say I make the best breadcrumbs in the world, and I never buy them in a can. But I forgot to put garlic in them. You got to have a little bit of garlic in your breadcrumbs. Now, I think the bean likes garlic powder. Sometimes I use it. Sometimes I use salt. Sometimes I even put a little touch of onion powder. But I really like fresh garlic, particularly the homegrown, smashed and then diced really, really, really fine. Because, again, the breadcrumbs are wet. So you get the garlic oils in with the breadcrumbs. And ideally, you make them a little bit in advance and let them sit. The garlic oils infuse. So, I forgot, and while I didn't miss it, because it didn't hit me at the time, I will say this, when I was eating them, they were delicious. But way in the back of my mind, something was saying, what the heck, man? What the heck? Right? There you go. When you know your recipes. I couldn't put my finger on it at the time, but I knew something was going on. Hey, they were still great, and I still got a bunch of clams for clam sauce today.